carefree and running, never bothered about what could be coming. Every day we danced and life was smiling. We were young and drunk in love.
Hi guys, thank you so much for being back here for another pregnancy update. I wanted to let you guys know that this is, as you can probably tell by the title, going to be a combination of both 5 and 6 weeks pregnant because I was actually on a 2-week vacation in Florida during these 2 weeks, and so I was not able to film my 5-week update. So I decided to just combine the two. There weren't too many differences between the 2 weeks anyway. Just mostly the biggest difference was in the baby. So this week, the baby went from the size of a popcorn kernel to the size of a chickpea. As you can see here in my hand, I'm showing you guys exactly how big that is. I'm telling you, it's blowing my freaking mind. I remember going through all of this with Chloe, and yet even this time around, I'm still mind blown by just how fast it's all going and how quickly this baby is growing. Okay guys, so I'm going to talk a little bit about my symptoms that I've had the last 2 weeks. So I'll read them in order of when I tracked them, which means most likely the earlier ones happened during week 5 and the later ones happened during week 6, but some of them probably happened during both. Extremely tired, which is across the board. I have been so tired the last 2 weeks, especially the last couple days. I am just so exhausted. I'm not someone who can nap. People are often telling me to nap when Chloe is napping. That's not really something that works for me. So I've been going to bed early, probably about 8:30 most nights. And we wake up here sometime between 6:30 and 7:30. And I have been having insomnia. So I will wake up in the middle of the night and I'll be unable to fall back asleep. I'll wake up, have to use the restroom, can't fall back asleep. So those symptoms aren't great together when you're super tired all the time and then you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't sleep. But I'm hoping that they will pass as soon as we kind of get through these early stages of the pregnancy. As you can probably tell, I am catching my breath a lot during this conversation. I am getting winded very, very easily, which is interesting because if I recall, I didn't start getting winded easily until about midway through my pregnancy the last time, whenever my belly started to push up on my lungs. I don't remember getting winded this early, but I am getting so winded so quickly, especially when I'm talking quickly, which I tend to do. Easily irritable. Yes, definitely I have been easily irritable, emotional, like kind of just easily triggered. Anything that normally I would just brush off is definitely kind of hitting a little bit harder. Comments that are made out of like jokes or whatever aren't feeling like jokes to me, and so that kind of stuff is really hurting a little bit more than I typically would let it, and I will chalk that up to my hormones. So that's what I'm going to say, at least. Hopefully it's not just me being an extra sensitive person, but I do think it has to do with the hormones. Something totally different this time around is I have been pretty nauseous. Starting about 6 weeks, maybe even slightly before that, I started getting very nauseous, especially after eating breakfast. Usually I can hold my breath and it will go away. I have not puked yet, but I just get these like waves of nausea and I have to just like close my eyes, hold my breath, like kind of like let it pass. So that's been different because I didn't really get too much nausea with Chloe. With Chloe, I had food aversion, but not nausea. So that's kind of the big difference between the 2 pregnancies so far. My boobs have been super full and super sore, and my nipples are like screaming sore. That's also not something I remember happening this early with Chloe. So that's interesting. It may be because I breastfed Chloe, so my body's just like kicking it back into like, hey, we're gonna have another baby gear. I'm not really sure, but yeah, they're very, very sore and very full. I've been having some interesting cravings. I've been craving all spicy and cheesy and savory and salty type foods, nothing sweet. Actually, like, I ate candy and I like felt like I was gonna like puke because it just wasn't sitting well with me, which is so different from my pregnancy with Chloe, because with Chloe all I wanted was ice cream with Butterfinger crunched up in it. I wanted to eat peanut M&Ms all the time, and my biggest craving throughout her entire pregnancy was Sour Patch Kids, and I literally could house an entire like jumbo family size bag of Sour Patch Kids to myself when I was pregnant with her. Yeah, it was bad. So it's interesting that like now I'm like, give me the spicy V8. Like, that's a weird thing to really be craving, but I'm like chugging glasses of spicy V8, or like anything covered in cheese and jalapenos, I'm all about it. So that's been interesting. We'll see if it continues. Yeah, and the only aversion that I said, like I said, is kind of like chocolate or sweets, like stuff that's too sweet, I don't want anything to do with. I tried to eat a cupcake in Disney and I was like, bleh. So haven't really been about any of the sweets. My current weight, and I did not update you guys in my weight in my last pregnancy update videos, but I do want to do that just because we're all freaking different and our bodies all look different and we all gain weight differently, but it's very interesting to know where other people are at, and so I decided, why not? I'm going to share it with you guys. I'm not always 100% comfortable talking about my weight, but I gotta get there, you know, gotta be happy with who I am and this body that created a child and is creating more children. So here we are, you know. My current weight is 155 pounds. I did gain, I was under 150, I think I was like 148 when I started my fertility treatments, and I gained about 7 pounds while I was on there. Actually, I think I gained about 9 pounds while I was on there, and I lost 2 since then. So I currently have not gained any weight from the pregnancy, but I did gain weight from the fertility drugs that I was on. So I'm starting out my pregnancy with 155 as my starting weight, and we will see where we go from there. Now, the biggest thing to happen in this past 2 weeks is probably the most exciting, and something that I hope that you will check out my video reveal down below in the description if you haven't already seen it. But the biggest thing to happen in the last 2 weeks is we found out we were having not one baby, but 2. Yes, we are having twins. So all of those symptoms I told you about are multiplied by 2, because I am growing not 1 but 2 little chickpeas right now. And it is just crazy. It is blowing my mind. But I couldn't leave this video without mentioning that we found out at the end of 6 weeks, that's such a crazy thing as it can be, that we are having twins. So from here on out, all of my updates will not only be pregnancy updates, but they will be twin pregnancy updates. So I'll be talking to you about all of the differences between my singleton pregnancy and my twin pregnancy. And luckily I have weekly bump shots from my singleton pregnancy with Chloe that I can show you guys a comparison of where my belly is at now and where it was at then. I need you guys to take that with a grain of salt though. I did start out my pregnancy with Chloe at 143 and I'm 155 during this pregnancy, so there will already be starting out some differences in the way that my body looks. Also, I carried a child already in this body and things have stretched and moved around. So keep that in mind when you're comparing the bump shots, but I think when I start to get a lot bigger, it's gonna be pretty noticeable. So I'm really excited to share this part of the journey with you guys, and it was so hard to keep it a secret. We barely could keep it a secret. So we were gonna think about doing some kind of surprise and just decided we can't keep secrets, we're no good at it. So make sure that you check out my reveal video that's down in the link in the description box below, so that you guys can see how we revealed that we are having twins. All right guys, so that's about all of the updates that I have. I am going to just read to you guys a little bit off of the Ovia app, because I like to read something off of one of the apps so you guys can see where the baby's growth is at right now. And then I'm going to show you guys a bump shot. So Ovia says for 6 weeks pregnant, which I am just ending my 6th week right now, the twins have tiny little buds that are just waiting to bloom into arms, and the eyes are beginning to form. Many women this week in their pregnancy experience morning sickness. Well, me, I'm getting nausea at least, as well as exhaustion, as I told you guys. That one I've got. If you're not feeling them yet, now's a good time to clean up your diet and get plenty of water and exercise before they hit. You guys, I eat pretty well and I drink tons of water. It's not helping my exhaustion any. The twins are now the size of a blueberry, which I have seen that on the Ovia app before, that they say that it's a blueberry at this stage, but almost every other app doesn't say a blueberry until week 7. So that's why I went with chickpea, because most of the other apps say something along the size of a chickpea. Measuring 1/4 of an inch. May not seem huge, but just think about how much they have grown in the past month, which is really crazy to think about, because I have been officially pregnant for a month now, and the 2 weeks before that were, you know, your period to, you know, ovulation. So I have been pregnant a month now. Wow, officially. The twins' lower bodies lag behind them, making them look slightly like mermaids. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I love it. I'm a mermaid, so I love that. And they may be wiggling their flipper-like arms. That is so sweet. So there's a couple of different things from, you know, the Ovia app just to share with you guys and tell you guys just about what the little babies are doing and what they look like. I think that's so sweet. I'll try and include some footage or photos from some of the apps so that you guys can see just what the baby is looking like right about now. All right, guys, now here we go. Ready for a bump shot? There's really nothing there, just like last week, but let's do it.
We were young and we were free and running, never bothered about what could be coming. Every day we danced and life was smiling. We were young and drunk in love.